In this video tutorial, I'm going to show you how to code more physically realistic explosions in Unity, and if you want to follow along, you can find the link to the project repo in the video description below. In the sample scene view, we're going to find an object that's called explosion, which really does nothing at this point, but it has a transform and a sphere collider attached to it with a radius property that we can use in the code. And so this will serve sort of as a visual representation of the explosion, except it more or less represents the outer boundary, and anything contained within it will be affected by physics. First, we're going to create a serialized field, and it'll be a float, and we'll name it maximum blast force magnitude. And then we'll include an option to include a layer mask so we can be more selective on which objects are detectable. And then we'll just also reference the sphere collider that's attached to the game object that our explosion script is attached to. So we'll just get the reference here. Now I'm going to create a condition so that if I press the space key, then I can trigger an explosion. And this is going to be the area where we collect any collider that was detected by the overlap sphere. So we'll just create the colliders array. And then the physics overlap sphere is going to be constructed with the same dimensions as the collider or the sphere collider that's attached to this game object. And the origin point of the explosion is going to be the current position of our transform here. We grab the radius of that collider, and then we include the layer mask also. Next, I'm actually going to separate out this logic that's associated with calculating the force that needs to be applied to each object within this method called explode. Next, we're going to for each loop over every object in the collection. And so for every collider, we're going to have to recalculate a new force for it, because not every collider or object is going to be positioned at the same point. So we need to calculate the target displacement by subtracting its position from the origin point of the explosion. And then we can extract other important information like the direction, and we can get that from the normalized vector of the displacement vector. And then we can get the distance as well by extracting the magnitude property from the displacement vector. Now we can use the information above to create an explosive force for this object. Now the force magnitude is actually going to vary depending on the distance of the object, but we're going to create a sort of proportionally inverse relationship, meaning that as the distance increases, the magnitude is going to decrease, and vice versa. That way it looks like when the object is really close to the center of our explosion, it'll have a really big magnitude compared to objects further away. And then we'll just get the rigid body component from this collider. And if it's detected, we will apply the force. And by the way, I probably should have actually detected whether or not it had the rigid body first, but at this point it doesn't really matter. It's just for a demonstration. Okay, so let's go ahead and test this out. We'll attach the explosion script. Make sure that the layer mask is set to detectable, and then see within these cubes that we have, they're also set to detectable. Thanks for watching. If you did find this video useful and you want to see more, just let me know by hitting the like button or commenting down below, and include your solution if you had a better one than the one that I provided, because I love to learn and sharing is caring. Thanks.